sick. They're tired as tired.
He ain't good looking, but he sure ain't shy. He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? If somebody responds.
Oh, yes, we are on a Reaction Monday in the doghouse, and those phone lines are open. We got plenty of room for you. Feel free to jump in, 256-576-4977. You can also text the show at 732-9TA-SHOW at 732-982-7469. It is a great way to communicate with us. It's also a place where you could go ahead and get your Friday trifecta picks in from last Friday because the season hasn't started yet, right? So you've got all week to get your future fecta picks in as part of the Friday trifecta if you missed it last week, and it will be part of the grand trifecta as well. We gave you 4 SEC teams to pick there. We gave you Alabama over under 11.5 wins, Auburn over under 7.5 wins, Georgia over under 10.5 wins, and Tennessee over under 6.5 wins. So you have until Thursday night to get those in because Tennessee plays on Thursday, and you can go ahead and just text those to me. Get them in at 732-982-7469. There's 4 points on the board. You get 1 point for each correct pick, and, of course, we will grade that at the end of the season, and we'll have fun with that. Of course, this Friday, a full Friday trifecta with great college football action in the Friday trifecta this week as you compete weekly for Champy's Fried Chicken and points on the grand trifecta big board for our grand prize as well. Now, you can communicate with us several different ways. My Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station feed is at 97.7 ESPN. We are also on Twitch and Facebook at 97.7 ESPN, where you can watch the show as well. Our YouTube channel is 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Like and subscribe that. You can go to 977ESPN.com and get links to all of that stuff. And while you're at it, get the app. I mean, you really need to have the app now because there is so much that is going on the app.
You can take it near, you can take it far, you can take it in your car, you can take it to a bar.
I mean, the app is critical because there is where you're going to find the links to Zone 2 and Zone 3, our alternate streaming channels, for more great programming. Now, Friday night, Madison Academy, fresh off their beatdown of Scottsboro, is at DAR with Steve Moulton and Glenn Laird on the call for that one on the air and on our primary stream. Daughters of the American Revolution. Everybody know that? I didn't kind of really know that. Daughters of the American Revolution. That's what DAR stands for. Anyway, Moulton will be on the call of that game with Glenn Laird. And then on Zone 2, we'll have Huntsville High and Grissom getting together at Milton Frank. A little city action down there at Milton Frank. Huntsville High and Grissom ought to be a good one. The Panthers still looking for their first win, playing a couple of tough teams out of the Birmingham area to start the season, while Grissom beat Lee on Friday. So Austin Coletti and Drew DeArmond will be on that game as well. Now, it's finally game week in the SEC, and it will get started Thursday night with Bowling Green at Tennessee. In fact, there are 6 TV games on Thursday, the best of which is the Ohio State at Minnesota game on Fox. Get a chance to see one of the favorite teams for the college football playoff in Ohio State. And does Minnesota have anything for them? There are games Friday as well. I'll give you some of the highlights for that. Saturday has a full slate of games, including, of course, the Alabama-Miami game at 2:30. You'll hear all of that right here on our air beginning at 11:30 with the pregame all the way through the game, the postgame. It's all good there. And our plan is to have Army and Georgia State on Zone 2 for you as well. So our alternate streaming we'll have Army football throughout the season for you as soon as we figure out exactly how to do that. But we're going to figure it out. I have full confidence in my boys that they will get this figured out. They'll get everything figured out. We're giving you as many different things as possible. On Zone 3 on Friday nights, you get to begin listening to the North Alabama Scoreboard Show. I mean, it's the preeminent scoreboard show anywhere in the state, really, and you get to listen to that starting at 9:30. And if the Madison Academy game is already over, you'll hear it on the air as well. And as soon as it is over, it'll be on the air. And then it'll be on all Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3. Am I lying, Grizz? Am I lying? I think it's on by the time the games are all over. Isn't it on all? It's on Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3. And on the air. Grizz is nodding his Falcons crested head with that. That's a good-looking Falcons hat there, man. That's a good-looking. And then there's a hand waving in his face. the hand of Moulton waving in his face is what I think was going on right there. Only one game on Sunday, the Notre Dame-Florida State game. What if Moulton could figure out a way to get that game out of here? I mean, there's no pro football. Pro football's off now. They go dark until the following week. And there's one game on Monday night, Ole Miss at Louisville. I don't know, why didn't they spread these games out a little bit? Why do we have 75 games on Saturday, one game on Sunday, and one game on Labor Day? We're not working Labor Day, are we? I mean, we doing our shows Labor Day? Did Moulton wave his hand at me again? To be honest with you, I don't even know. I probably should know that. I don't know if we're doing our shows on Monday or not. But we'll check that out. Coming up on the show today, speaking of Mondays, at the top of the 11, Tom Luginbill begins his run with us again, his weekly run. Tom Luginbill from ESPN, back in for his regular visits, courtesy of Woody Anderson Ford. Lugs was on that nutty high school game between IMG and Bishop Sycamore, whoever the hell Bishop Sycamore is. I'm going to ask him about it. He's not going to say much. If you know what I'm talking about, I will flesh the story out here in a few minutes. But if you saw any of that, it was a debacle. Now, Luke's doesn't have anything to do with that. He didn't schedule the game. It was a debacle. I'll explain. Now, he has Oklahoma and Tulane on Saturday, so he gets to see Spencer Rattler, who starts the season as the Heisman favorite, and Oklahoma, who's another team that is a favorite to go into the college football playoff. That game is supposed to be in New Orleans, but they may have to move that one. I don't know how their stadium held up as the storm slammed in. Yes, they now have thoughts and prayers to all their friends in Louisiana as well. And that sucker is, I mean, it's going to be tropical storm now, but that sucker is kind of hooking around. It's going to come across North Alabama, really about probably another hour or so, hitting the Birmingham area. I'm a little concerned. I got to be honest with you. The Junkyard Babe is on her way home from Rosemary Beach, and I don't know which way they went. In fact, I need to call her to see which way they went, and we'll get maybe I could call her on the air. I think we could call her on the air. See which way they went to see if they got any rain yet. I'm going to do that, Grizz. I'm going to call her from my cell phone on the air. She won't answer the station line. She might not answer my line. But they're on the way back, and I'm very nervous. I kind of told her to go take the extra hour and go through Atlanta because I felt like the roads might be jammed coming up through. Although maybe everybody already evacuated. I don't know. I'm worried about it. Anyway, that game might get moved out of New Orleans area. I don't know where they would play it. Isn't the LSU game in California? Maybe they could go play in Baton. Maybe they could do that because LSU is at UCLA. UCLA looked pretty good. They might have a little something for them. Might have a little something. All right, over there in that little glass booth, playing the platters that matter and the stacks of wax and answering the phones and stoked for his Braves, who got a huge series win over the weekend against the best team in baseball in the San Francisco Giants. They slammed them 2 of the 3 games, losing the middle game on Saturday, but big for the Braves, who are now in Los Angeles. We'll have that game for you tonight after the drive. And there's some big deal going on tonight on the drive that I need to tell you about, too, here in a moment. But it's It's Coach Chris.
Do you know who I am?
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and pollen.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
You don't ever say that to me. Bullcrap.
There won't be any misinformation. There won't be any false statements. There won't be any hearsay.
How come there ain't no Puerto Ricans on Star Trek?
You ask me those kind of questions, it really pisses me off.
Can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
You ask a question every week that I don't know anything about.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
You do what everybody else in media does, just create some and throw it on the wall and see what sticks.
I ain't gonna be buried. I want a taxidermist to stuff me. Say hello to my
Grizzlicious, how you doing, my man?
I'm all right. Are we going to have back-to-back MVPs coming from the Atlanta Braves this year?
No.
Did that just throw you for a loop?
Yeah.
Austin Riley, baby.
He's having a great year.
Have an amazing year.
He's having a great year, but no.
No? Nothing? Nothing? No?
Not MVP.
You don't think so? No?
Well, who's turning it up in the National League, right? I mean, Tatis was out for a period of time, but he's having a really good year. Oh, he could be in the mix. I hadn't even really thought of Austin Riley as a MVP candidate.
Over here
Just wanted
calling him the next Chipper Jones, you know.
Yeah. I mean, remember, though, at the beginning of the year, we're like, well, Austin Riley, the two things that were keys at the beginning of the year were Dansby Swanson, can he up his game, and Austin Riley, who they were trying out in different positions, put him out in the outfield a little bit and stuff. And both of those guys have had their career years, right? Two guys having career years right now. And now off to Los Angeles. Now we're going to have that tonight. I didn't see an image or anything, but we're going to have that tonight, correct? We got that tonight after?
Yes, we do.
I'm a little concerned about the Junkyard Babe. Should we try and call her? You think she'll? Let's try this. I'm gonna try.
Let's see it.
Can you hear that?
Oh, I can hear it.
Okay. Let's see if we can. Hey, don't say anything bad. Not that you would, because you're on the air.
Hi,
yeah. But we need to know. We need to know which direction you ended up going, because everybody's concerned that you're going to get home safely. What direction did you end up going? Are you heading towards Birmingham or are you heading towards Atlanta?
Birmingham.
How far are you now? Are you to Dothan yet?
No, I don't think so. We're about a little over 2 hours in, so we're in some little town. I don't know what it's called.
Okay. Might be Dothan. I mean, you probably would have known if you got to Dothan. All right, so how is the weather so far?
It's been great. Overcast, but no rain, knock on wood. Kelly's a little ahead of us, and she said she hasn't gotten any yet either, so...
She should be through... She should be... Laverne. Kelly should be through Montgomery by now, I would think. But it's not... Your problem is going to be when you get to Birmingham. That's where the issue... That's where that's starting to come into Birmingham here. Now, how is the traffic?
Fine.
So no issue with traffic?
No issues at all.
Okay. And who's driving, you, Christy, or Grace?
What, are we taking bets? My truck, I'm driving.
All right.
Her truck, she's driving.
Also with us, by the way.
Oh, you have Dominique, too. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that would make sense that you would have Dominique, too. Okay, well, good. You're safe because you're in the Woody Anderson Ford F-150 STX. So you should be...
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Her truck. Her truck, she said.
Me, by the way.
Yeah, she did say her... Grizz just noted that you did say your truck. Yeah, you're right.
My truck.
It is your truck. There's no doubt about it. It's your truck.
I love it.
Yeah, I know. I drive to Ramblin' Wreck while she drives her truck. Yeah.
With no air conditioning.
No air conditioning. That's all right. It's only got 350,000 miles on it. Can't kill the thing.
It was a good truck.
It's been a good truck, yeah. All right, well, listen, be careful, be safe, and there's going to be some wind and rain. I mean, it's just going to happen when you get about to Birmingham, so just be very careful with that and focus on the road and stuff. Don't let those other girls distract you.
What are you talking about? The clouds will part for Mom. Yes, we
Bye, Alan.
Been so blessed since we left. Last night the rain stopped so we could go to dinner. It's been amazing. So.
Okay, well, I'm glad you had a good time, and I can't wait for you to get home. Be safe.
Me too. Love you.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Love you. Love all you people in the back seat too.
Love you too.
Love you, Dad. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
There you go. Okay, thanks. All right, they hung up.
Love you. No, they
I don't know if they could hear you
They
because it was on my cell phone. So
you didn't relay it. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't. But they were. I was like confused. I'm like, wait a minute. I can hear you, but I don't think they can hear you because it was just my phone. All right, so that's a report. That's okay. All right, I'm a little bit good. I'm feeling a little bit better about that. I'm worried about when they get to Birmingham because that thing. I have the radar on. I'm kind of a weather nerd, and I've got the radar on, and I see that it's coming towards Birmingham, and then from Birmingham towards Huntsville, and then across because don't we have all kinds of flood watches and things like that, right? I mean, we got.
I haven't really been paying attention to the weather, to be honest.
You haven't paid attention to the weather. Got a hurricane.
If I'm in a bad spot, I'm in a bad spot.
Well, you're on.
I like to stay home, so I'm usually at home during the bad weather.
Yeah.
So just be safe out there.
Wait a minute.
We got the Allen weather report.
Now I'm really confused. My daughter Kelly, who was in a different car, she's ahead of them, and she said, "Love you too." Is she listening on the app? Maybe. Are you listening? That's weird.
Who listens?
I don't know that. I don't know what the heck just happened. How would she know that I was talking to her
Superpowers,
mother?
Magic.
Well, she's listening. Hopefully, she's safe. She is listening. Kelly. So my daughter Kelly, the singer, she is. I don't know. Maybe Birmingham area. No, she's probably around Montgomery. She's ahead of them, but she's listening to the show on the app. So she just heard. How weird is that? She just heard me talking to her mother and her other 3 sisters on the app. They dropped the one sister off at the airport to fly back to Southwest Florida. The other sister's going to be going out of Nashville tomorrow back to San Diego, and the other ones live around here. It's all very odd. It's all very weird. Okay, we got a lot to get into. We are wide. Oh, she says she's safe. Okay, good. I'm good. I'm glad that Kelly's safe. Be careful, Kelly, because you're going to run into some bad weather. All right, we got a lot to get into. Phone lines are wide open. Let's get to the lines right now and start with Wolverine Dan, as usual. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I knocked out a serious workout, man. I tell you, Tom, I'm starting to get in football shape.
Well, that's good because you got to get. I was in the chair for about 6 hours last night. I'm not 100% ready yet. I've got to build up to it for this upcoming weekend because Saturday, a lot of time in the chair Saturday coming up.
Yeah, I hear you. You got to do it. Yeah, you got to get that chair just right. You know, I know how it works. But hey, I like the love fest with the family on air. I like that. See, you're a family man. You're just like I am. You're a groom. You know, you and I are like 2 peas in a pod. Macho, we like family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll get some negative texts at the text window about that. No, I will. There'll be some people like, really? Or we're going to talk about your family? Nobody cares. I always get that every time I do that. But, you know.
Hey, you know what it is? They're jealous because your wife's hot and so is my wife.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you can't do anything about that.
Speaking of love, I went to Fat Daddy's Burger place. Never been there. I went over there Sunday.
It's nice.
And tell you what, Jessica, the waitress at the bar, because I like to sit at the bar because you got all the TVs. And then her friend that worked with her, T, that's her nickname, but I think it's Takia. Anyway, man, they served really well. The food was delicious. Right on. The onion rings are unbelievable. And, dude, guess what? You got those coupons coming this Friday, don't you?
We have Bad Daddies hitting zone deals on Friday. You can snag those Friday morning, and they go fast. Bad Daddies always goes really fast.
Well, I'm about to get some of those. So anyway, couple things. First off, Lions, we got a really good punter. I guess that's enough of the Lions. Let's move on. So, it's going to be a real bad year. And it ain't going to get much better with Michigan either. But I do have a little bit of trivia. I mean, it's not so much trivia. It's history. The Michigan congregation from Michigan won the World Series, my friend.
Yeah, first time ever that the Michigan kids have won the American side, they said, isn't it? The first time they've ever won the American side.
They won in 1959.
Oh, did they? I thought they said first
Yes,
time.
sir. No, 59. Now,
When is the championship game? You know?
That's it. It's over. They won it.
No, don't they have to play they got to play the international champion, don't they, Grizz?
No, they're not playing international this year.
Why?
Because of COVID.
Get the heck out of here. Japan and them didn't have a team. This is it? That's the end of the world. That the Little League World Series was just the U.S. side?
I think so.
Oh, gosh. Well, that's
anyway, check it out.
That's a tainted win. If you don't beat Japan or Korea, that's a tainted win.
So is that like the tainted win when Michigan tied with Nebraska that was tainted?
Yeah. Exactly.
I guess that's the only thing Michigan's going to win is Little League World Series. So,
Tim, I can't win. Tom, I can't win for losing. But anyway, the team that won, they're from Taylor, Michigan. And guess what city is next to Taylor, Michigan?
I'm going to say East Lansing.
No, Allen Park. That's where I grew up.
Really?
Right? Yes, sir. Smoltz is from Taylor, Michigan. Grew up next with me.
Really? I didn't know that. I knew that Smoltz was from Michigan, big Detroit Tigers fan, and finally got his dream to pitch for the Detroit Tigers, but he was washed up by then.
Oh, speaking of that, before you go, you just all of a sudden popped in my head when you said Detroit Tigers. How about Cabrera? You got to like that.
Yeah, you mean Miggy getting 500?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only bright spot in just a miserable season for the Detroit Tigers, really.
Yeah, well, anyway, so I'm going to let you go. Ladies driving, please be careful. Get home in one piece because your husbands love you. And my wife really loves me a lot because I'm really looking pretty sexy. This body is really starting to get ripped.
You're loving you some you, aren't you?
Yeah, I do, don't I? Isn't it great?
Yeah.
See you with the brother. Bye.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Just looking at some of the cuts that are coming.
It's the hair.
You know what? It's tough to be a fan of anything in Michigan right now, isn't it? I mean, think about it. They're the Detroit Tigers, not so much. Detroit Lions. Look, don't take anything out of the preseason for anybody. Whether your team was 3-0, 0-3, 1-2, 2-1, doesn't matter. Don't take anything out of this preseason. All right, so that's not going to determine the way it's going to go in the season. But there's not a lot of hope for the Detroit Lions. The Pistons might be getting a little bit better. The Detroit Red Wings are a grease fire. Michigan, the over/under for Michigan football, 7.5 wins. Michigan State isn't very good. It's tough to be a fan right now for anything in Michigan, right? Am I missing something? Who is any good in Michigan?
Yeah, I think the Pistons are really the only thing that is coming out of nowhere. I mean, they've got young talent, and other than that, that's the only franchise I think in Detroit that's even worth a thing.
Detroit or even in the state?
Yeah, in the state alone, yeah.
Michigan State is at Northwestern on Friday night.
Michigan State might win 8 games. Who knows?
Well, maybe, but
they always do that weird. They beat Wisconsin in a crazy fashion, or maybe they'll upset Michigan or something. If it's an upset,
I don't know how much of an upset it would be. I don't know what the back number is for Michigan State, but you also got on Friday night. You got North Carolina at Va Tech, and that's at 5:00. So you got a double dip. You got North Carolina, Virginia Tech, which is a nice game. North Carolina's number 10 in the country. And then that is followed by the Michigan State Northwestern game. I mean, that's good. I hate it for high school football, but that's good. That's good college football. Speaking of high school football, when we come back, I got to tell you the story of what the heck is going on with this IMG game against something called Bishop Sycamore. And there is no Bishop Sycamore. I mean, there's a Bishop Sycamore team, but it's just weird, man. The whole thing is just odd. I'll explain it next right here. Phone lines are open. All right, go ahead and get in. 256-576-4977. 256-576-4977. Miami talking a lot of trash down there too, man. I mean, they just won't shut their mouths. I mean, they're setting themselves up for a hell of an ass whooping, I think. I mean, I just can't believe how much chatter is coming out of Miami. I mean, I know it's Miami, but goodness gracious almighty. We'll be back. Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here.
Bob Baumhauer and 97.7 ESPN The Zone have teamed up to bring you a huge opportunity this fall. Each week, come down to Baumhauer's during the drive Thursdays between 5 and 6:30 and register to win a Lunch Bunch gift certificate for 6 to Baumhauer's. But wait, there's more.
I know how to keep you happy.
Each weekly winner will then be placed in a drawing for Bob's tickets for the Alabama-LSU game in Tuscaloosa, complete with an invitation to Bob's exclusive pregame party at the Baumhauer's tent on the quad.
Wow!
Stay tuned to 97.7 ESPN The Zone for other opportunities to sign up to win Bob's tickets.
I've never been so happy in my whole life.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This Action Update is brought to you by Keeps. Tired of losing your hair? Get 50% off for your first order at keeps.com/vsin. Keeps.com/vsin.
The NFL season kicking off on Thursday, September 9th. Tampa Bay hosting the Dallas Cowboys. The latest line, Buccaneers favored by 7.5 at home, minus 116 against the spread. Dallas minus 104. On the money line, Cowboys plus 300. The Super Bowl champions minus 370. Over-under at Raymond James Stadium is at 50.5. Sunday, the Atlanta Falcons taking on Philadelphia. Atlanta minus 195 on the money line. Philadelphia plus 100. The Falcons favored at home by 3.5 points with an over-under of 48. For vsin.com, I'm Tony Desiri, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We know it's lonely at the top, but we don't mind.
National championship number 18. 13 in all. Absolute perfection.
Roll Tide. Join us on Saturday, September 4th, as the Crimson Tide brave the storm against the Miami Hurricanes in the season opener on your home for Bama football.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Maybe the air doesn't blow like it should, or it's needing new tires, or you're just ready for something newer. It's time to move up, time to trade up. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your current car or truck is worth more than you know. In fact, we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't trade. We have nearly 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. It's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your vehicle is worth more right now at Woody Anderson Ford. Corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday, expect scattered showers and thunderstorms, otherwise an overcast sky. High temperatures will top out in the mid to upper 80s for the afternoon. And for your Monday night, expect scattered showers, a few thunderstorms, some very heavy rainfall. Low temperatures falling into the lower 70s. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Yeah, you heard right. At the beginning of that stop set, you heard a promo for our big promotion that we're doing with Bob Baumhauer and Baumhauer's Victory Grill. You can win Bob's tickets to the LSU Alabama game in Tuscaloosa, and furthermore, you get to go into the pregame tent, the Baumhauer's pregame tent, and have a pregame meal there at the game. And to qualify, all you got to do is show up every Thursday night. We'll be taking, people can go ahead and sign up to win this promotion. And then beginning, not this Thursday, but the following Thursday, we'll start pulling a name a week out of the box. But it gets better. You can go to other remotes as well. You got to pay attention to the radio station. You got to watch our calendar. You've got to have the app. We'll put things on the social media that says, hey, tonight at Woody Anderson Ford, you can register to win Bob's tickets. So whenever we have a remote, every Thursday night at Baumhauer's, that's a lead pipe cinch. But then on top of that, other select remotes, it could happen during the week. It could happen on a Saturday morning at the car dealership. It could happen wherever. So just pay attention because you can win a lunch bunch for 6, right? You can win lunch bunch for 6, and then after that, you're going to have another. Adrian College. After that, those winners, there'll be 10 winners, will be put in for the grand prize, which is to win Bob's tickets. It's really, really cool as well. Now, Steve Moulton tonight with West Neighbors, they are at Woody Anderson Ford, and Moulton will have the register to win box with him down there at Woody Anderson Ford. Steve, this is a really, really cool promotion, right? I mean, 2 tickets to the Alabama LSU game and pregame meal at the Baumhauer's tent. And not to mention you have a chance every week to win the lunch bunch for 6 at Baumhauer's. I love this promotion.
I do too as well. I mean, as good as the tickets are, don't underestimate being in the stadium this fall. It is not going to suck at all. But the sneaky good part about this is the weekly prize. The weekly prize of getting a lunch bunch with 6 people. That's not nothing. With all that's Bob that has out there, it's a fantastic promotion, and we're delighted to be a part of it.
And here's the other thing. So say you go down there tonight to Woody Anderson Ford. Now, where will you guys be set up? Right in the middle of the...
No. We moved over to the main concourse area that's redone. We were over at Henry's, but Bobby wanted us over in the main showroom area.
Right.
So we're in the main showroom area now.
So in the main showroom, you go there tonight in the main showroom between 5 and 7. You can register, and then you can register again. You register one time at every qualifying remote.
Correct.
So then you can register again on Thursday night at Baumhauer's, and then next Thursday night we'll pull the first name on Why does this kid keep calling me? Next Thursday night, it's a kid from Adrian College, a professional fisherman or a college fisherman from Adrian College. Anyway, so next
Maybe he
Thursday,
caught a largemouth. I wanted
exactly.
to let you know.
Exactly. Well, let me know he caught a fish. So then next Thursday night, we'll pull the first name. But here's the deal. If your name doesn't get pulled, you stay in the box all fall long.
Correct.
So come to every single – now, once your name gets pulled, then you're out of the drawing. You're out at that point in time. You can only win once in the fall. You have one opportunity to win. But, you can register – by the time you get to later on in the season, there might have been 15 or 20 different remotes that people could register for. So you get one entry every time you come out to a remote.
I tell you, from past promotions that we've done, this may be the biggest. And I'm not just saying that because this is a big deal. This is the weekly prize. You can essentially win twice for the big grand prize, but it helps you get some grub first and foremost and enjoy some Bama LSU coming up in November.
Yeah, so 10 people will win the lunch bunch.
Yep.
It's lunch for 6, businessmen's lunch for 6 at Baumhauer's on the South Parkway. And then one of those will also tack on Bob's tickets to the LSU game. I mean, it's really cool. And first of all, by the way, do you think Bob's tickets are nosebleeds?
No.
They are not.
No.
I can tell you they're not. These are good tickets. And you get to go to Bob's pregame party, which is pretty cool right there on the quad.
That's sneaky good as well. I wouldn't mind maybe getting that little wristband action myself before going into a game.
That would be cool to get in there. Now, you asked me an interesting question a few minutes ago on a text window that I need to explain to people who are getting invites possibly from me for my Facebook page. And I've had many people say, what happened? I think somebody hacked you. I'm getting messages. No, that is me inviting you, all right, to like my Facebook page. After 4 or 5 or 6 years on Facebook and having almost 2,000 Facebook friends, something happened where my Facebook page somehow got tied to, believe it or not, this is somebody that nobody but me and Steve know, my Facebook page somehow got tied to Ted Johnson. I have no idea how, but my Facebook page was
fantastic.
It became a sub Facebook page of Ted Johnson. Now, Ted says he doesn't know how it happened, but you and I know Ted. Ted did something, didn't he?
He knows.
He did something.
He knows.
He screwed the pooch on this one.
He knows.
Somehow, my page got hijacked by my old boss. So, I mean, this is really stupid. So, I lost everything.
I'm going to blame Adam, okay?
Yeah. Think about all the pictures, all the history, everything. And I can't even get to Thom Abraham Show Facebook page right now. I got to figure out how to link the new one to the old one. I was an administrator, not that I ever did anything necessarily on the station page, but I did go there all the time. I have it open every day, but I didn't make a lot of posts directly to it.
I love the fact that you're telling on yourself. Not that I did anything, but
I did because I don't want to. I like you kind of have one guy that's posting on the page, and rather what I mean.
Tyson does a lot of that.
Tyson does a lot of that. Yeah. I don't know if I should be posting stuff directly to it, but anyway. So yes, Steve, please accept my friend request.
I did.
I have. It's so embarrassing. I launched the page last night. Okay. And I invited as many people as I could find on there, and I'm trying to figure out if I can somehow merge the other page. I would like to call Facebook, but apparently you cannot call Facebook. There is nobody to call.
Zuckerberg.
Didn't they come to Huntsville? In part of Facebook in Huntsville now? I mean, can't we just knock on somebody's door here locally?
Grizz, can I just go down to Huntsville? Can you just Grizz, go to Facebook after the show, will you? Tell them to fix Thom Abraham's page. So
I got Zuckerberg's number on speed dial.
Get the big Z on the phone here. Let's figure out what happened. So I've got 100. I launched it last night. I don't even know if I did it right, but it looks okay, I guess. And I got 165 friends so far. I had like 2,000, but I got 165 friends on Facebook. So if you got a thing from me, invite.
Accept it.
Is that what they call it? Yeah. If you got an invite from me, just accept the thing, will you? And we'll be all good. So, now you're an aficionado of high school sports. We got Tom Luginbill coming up at the top of the hour every Monday. He'll be joining us, courtesy of Woody Anderson Ford. But he was on that weird game yesterday between IMG and Bishop Sycamore. Have you been following this story about how this?
I just started following it this morning. That is a weird story more than anything, and I'm sure Lugs is not going to talk too terribly much about that because that's, I guess, highly embarrassing for the four-letter network.
It got picked up everywhere. I have a story open in front of me in the New York Post. Look. Let me tell you what the New York Post doesn't talk about. College football or high school football. I don't even think they know that high school football exists. Here's a headline in the New York Post. ESPN announcers turned on network for broadcasting bizarre high school football game. Now, look, I was listening to that. They didn't turn on the network. They weren't frank. But, my God, it said that the announcers went on a tirade against their own network. That's not quite true. I don't think it is anyway. But
you'll find out in 20 minutes coming up on the Thom Abraham Show.
He's not gonna talk about it. I can tell you what he's gonna. I gotta ask the question.
Yeah.
He said, he texted me this morning. He says, I really can't talk about it. I said I didn't even ask him if we could talk about it. He didn't even say what it was. He just texted me and said, I really can't talk about it. I know what he's talking about. So I said, well, I am going to ask you the question. I have to ask you the question. It would be illegitimate of me to not at least ask you the question. But for people that don't know, IMG is like a prep school.
Yep.
Who the hell do they play? Who can they play? I mean, IMG can't just go play Hoover or go play, whichever Thompson or something like that. Just play great teams. They're like an all-star team. Kids come from all over the country to go to IMG. Every player on that team just about is going to be playing some sort of college football. Steve, I don't know who they're supposed to play.
Well, they're essentially an independent, so that they cannot qualify for the state playoffs in the state of Florida. So they're essentially a BYU, an Army. So they're trying to schedule whoever wants any and all comers, that kind of thing. But they try to schedule as high level as they can. But more and more states that have the private school asterisk, I'll say, are doing it. I know I read from the state of Georgia that they're now having a promotion. At least they're talking about the top 9 private schools in the state of Georgia to have their own playoffs after they play a regular season.
Are they the same thing where kids come from all over to play there, or are they just private schools the way Madison Academy's a private school?
Well, private schools that recruit. Yeah. So it's that's a unique difference, at least in terms of private schools that recruit. So I know that is already something that's happening up in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's the way it is in Tennessee.
Yeah.
If you're a private school, like I did CPA and I did Lipscomb.
Yep.
If you don't recruit, you're Division I, and if you do recruit, they call it Division II, and they have their own playoff.
But there's even subbed like 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. It's a little squirrely to figure out.
So this Bishop Sycamore school, first of all, there is no such thing as Bishop Sycamore. There's never been a Bishop Sycamore. So,
what was their mascot? I mean,
well, they're the
Water Buffaloes?
No. Oh gosh, Grizz, what is their mascot? Look at they're the somethings. The Bishop Sycamore, not Gladiators. They're some kind of.
Sorry, Wolverine Dan just called. He's about to bring me some cookies maybe here soon.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I'm glad you're
good with that.
I know,
that's
right?
Good. That works. Anyway, Bishop Sycamore told ESPN that they had a number of Division I prospects on their roster. However, there was nobody in the top 50 in the state of Ohio that is on their roster. So I don't know who was vetting this out. Now know this. ESPN, and I know that Lugie will tell. What are they called?
Centurions.
Lugie will tell us this. ESPN does not make the schedule. There is a company that they hire to schedule the high school games. Whether it's because we get teams from the state of Alabama to play in these high school games on ESPN.
That's right.
But there's a company they hire, a production company that booked the game. So they didn't have anything.
Still going to get hired?
Yeah, right. Yeah, but they didn't book the game. Now here's the other thing. The school lied about their roster in terms of who they had. 2, the school is an unaccredited, what do you call it, school? Online high school. It's an online high school. It's not accredited anywhere in the state of Ohio. So it's like it's not even a thing, all right? And third, this is the most bizarre, they played Friday night. They played a game Friday night, and then they played on Sunday. And the quarterback for the team, posted video of them playing on Friday night. I think they won that game. Maybe they won that game. They were 0-6 last year. So, I mean, what a bizarro situation. And then the clock was supposed to be running clock. What's the rule in Alabama? Is it 35-0 at the half, and then you go running clock in the second half?
I want to say it's got to be at least a 4-score game going into a quarter, be it at halftime or fourth quarter. I've only seen a running clock in the fourth quarter. I've never seen a running clock in the third quarter.
Yeah, well, I know in Tennessee it's at 35. The second half is running clock at 35. And doing CPA and Lipscomb games, we had a lot of those. I mean, we had a lot of those games. And on the positive side, at least, I mean, they were always up 35-0 at halftime, and then it was like, we'd be like pulling for the running clock in the second half. And the running clock, let me tell you something, 24 minutes running clock. They give you a minute in between. It literally is 24 minutes.
Yep,
I mean, it's like
Johnny Ball game right there.
It's like Johnny Ball game is right. Post game show starts at 8:15. It's crazy. Anyway, it was a nutty story, so I thought you need to check it out. It is one of the most bizarre stories. I'm not going to get a ton from Lugie on it, and I understand that, but that's why I'm talking about it now. Crazy story, Steve.
It really is, and it's for those that haven't downloaded the app, you need to download the app because the amount of high school coverage that we're doing this fall, we're doing more high school coverage than we have ever done in the history of this station, with Huntsville High on Zone 2, Madison Academy on Zone 1, and then the scoreboard show as well. It started at 9:30, no questions asked, on Zone 3 with Scott and Chad. They do a fantastic job as well.
I didn't see you there. There you are, right there. I just looked over to Twitch, and there's Steve in the studio, and there's all the high school helmets as well that we got. So that
he turned on the camera?
Yeah. Okay. Steve, you're on camera.
Great.
He probably should have told you that.
Yeah.
Grace, you don't put anybody on camera without telling them. I mean, you got to tell them that.
I did. I said you're on camera.
And Steve is going to figure out. Steve's going to figure out how to get us Army football. On Zone 2, as they start at, I think, 11 o'clock on Saturday. Is that right? 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock?
What, they play Georgia State, I think?
I think it's 10 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock Central. It's 11 o'clock listed on the schedule, but I don't know if that was a Central
we got Bama over the airwaves starting at 11:30. I do know that.
Right.
Lead pipe lock fact.
I have a email that I will forward to you from the network about how we get how we should grab the Army football, and then you can figure it out, because I have total confidence in you, Steve, that you're going to figure out how to get that.
The letters CCBD at all in that email?
CCBD. I don't know. I didn't read the email. What do you think? I read my emails? I don't read them. I just forward them to people. I'm like, this is one for Chad. Oh, this is one for Steve.
So here you go. This is also, since I'm on camera, this is what I'm waiting on. It's Monday. It's game week. Waiting on Vol Nation to kick us off for our press conferences. Nick Saban's at noon today. Harsin moved up to 1:30 today. No more Tuesday press conferences for the Auburn football team.
And then Wednesday, of course, is the whole
teleconference.
The whole teleconference deal. All right. There's no information on this email. I just read it. It says,
so you're going to send me an email with no information on it?
Yeah, it says, hope you have a great weekend. We are confirming you can stream the Army broadcast even if they are not on your terrestrial signal. If you need more from me, let me know. But there you go, Steve. Find it. Find it and put it on Zone 2.
On. Yeah,
we're just a conglomerate. All right, let me get out of here. Appreciate you, Steve.
All right, appreciate you.
Let's get a break. We will come back and set you up for hour number 2, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now. and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday, expect scattered showers and thunderstorms, otherwise an overcast sky. High temperatures will top out in the mid to upper 80s for the afternoon. And for your Monday night, expect scattered showers, a few thunderstorms, some very heavy rainfall. Low temperatures falling into the lower 70s. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Football season is here.
It is in the air. It has lifted. It's good!
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham Show. Good job by Grizz there, getting Steve on, throwing Steve on camera without Steve's knowledge. Grace, you know how when you call somebody, you notice like when we called the Junkyard Babe on the air, the first thing I said to her was, "You're on the air." Okay, you know, that's actually FCC. Though. You got to say like if you're on the air, you got to tell people that they're on the air when you make like a call like that. I don't know if that rule applies to putting them on camera, but being that it is molten, you know what I mean, and it could have scared a few people, probably should have told them, say, hey, by the way, Steve, you're on camera.
I'm sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
I apologize, Steve.
Because there are
That's Knoxville. That's Knoxville.
There are tens of viewers on that. So, you know.
The one viewer on Twitch got mad that Steve's gut was out.
Yes, exactly. So, but no.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Well, that's a good job by you then. That is a good job by you then. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, Tom Luginbill join us. We're not going to dwell on this thing. We got to touch on it, but not going to dwell on this thing. But he has Oklahoma and Spencer Rattler on Saturday, presumably in New Orleans, but maybe not. In New Orleans, they're playing at Tulane. How in God's name did Oklahoma get roped into going to Tulane is beyond me. I mean, I understand home and homes. Like Alabama will go home and home with Texas, Notre Dame. They're not going Wisconsin. Alabama's not going to Tulane, for God's sake. They're not playing at Middle Tennessee. What the heck happened there? We'll ask him how that came about as well. The Nebraska situation is really interesting, too. They are an absolute mess. All right. We'll get the break in. I think UCLA might have something for LSU in that game. We'll ask them about that as well. Plenty to get into in hour number 2 of the show. Glad you were hanging with us on an Overreaction Monday. It's the Thom Abraham Show. No thumbs down here. We're not like those New York mutts. We're thumbs up all the way. I'm a thumbs up, Grizz. That's us. We're thumbs up. We're not thumbs down on anybody. Thumbs down for the Mets. Thumbs up for us and the Braves. All right, we'll be back. Tom Luginbill is next. Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Wes Neighbors sitting here with Ann Adams. And I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th annual Harris Poll Equitrin as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. You know, great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
And I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes, we need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams and Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Do you value professionalism and punctuality? Want to learn from and work with the best pros in the electrical industry? Then you're just who we're looking for. Mr. Sparky is seeking hardworking, committed, and trustworthy individuals. With industry-leading salaries, benefits, and growth potential, we also provide ongoing training. So come join our team at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
An equal opportunity employer.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortandSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening with less than 2 weeks to go before the regular season opener against the Dolphins. Patriots coach Bill Belichick still not ready to tip his hand regarding who his starting quarterback will be. Only told reporters they've still got a lot of decisions to make. Cam Newton and rookie Mac Jones have been battling for the starting job throughout training camp. Mets president Sandy Alderson will likely do most of the talking. Players and staff most of the listening when they meet. Alderson ready to give the message that the organization won't tolerate any player gesture that's unprofessional in its meaning or is directed in a negative way toward fans. This follows the actions by a couple of Mets players who gave a thumbs down gesture at Citi Field after getting hits, their response to getting booed for their offensive struggles. For the latest on these stories, tune into the 6 Eastern Sports Center on ESPN TV.
Roll Tide, War Eagle, and yeah, you, the Vols fan. We got it all covered on the Thom Abraham Show.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. Guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog. Let's go, baby! Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 to Thom Abraham Show here on a Reaction Monday in the Doghouse. The segment of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. The service department at Woody Anderson Ford is second to none. It's the only place you need to go to get your vehicle serviced. When you go in there, you're going to see incredible service lanes and a garage that looks like a NASCAR garage. And they take such great pride in their place. So if they're going to take great pride in their place, you know they're going to take great pride in making sure that your vehicle gets serviced properly. Make an appointment for Woody Anderson Ford. Now, I'm just going to say this about that. I know we spent a little time in that first segment, in the first hour, and we mentioned this the game, the high school game between IMG and Bishop Sycamore. This headline from the New York Post. The New York Post just does not talk about high school football. They don't even talk about college football. So that's how this story kind of went viral. But the headline is ESPN announcers turned on network for broadcasting bizarre high school football game. That's not true. I watched the game. I watched part of the game. I mean, it was 28-0 in like the first quarter, so I didn't watch all of the game. But I watched part of the game, and I watched what they were talking about there. In the story, it says that the announcers, and it mentioned Anish Shroff and Tom Luginbill, launched into a tirade against their own network. That's not true. That's not true. All right? It's just not. And Tom Luginbill joins us now. The Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. It was not a tirade. Lugs, welcome to the show. How are you?
How are you, man? I'm doing good.
You did not go in a tirade, all right? It wasn't a tirade. It was a concern, but it wasn't a tirade. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, it was a concern, and there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of misinformed people out there as a result of what took place yesterday. But listen, it is what it is. Any questions about it have to be directed to Paragon Marketing and their firm, and that's really all I'm going to say about it. It was, if you watched it, if you saw it, we all understand the obvious. Very few of us know the details, but it is what it is.
Let me ask you this: outside of the what went on there, where does a school how many schools like IMG are around? I mean, where do they go for games? Can they play like St. Thomas Aquinas down in Miami? They would hammer them. I mean, I would think, but where? How many schools are like that are almost like a junior college, if you will, the talent that they have?
Very few. Bishop Gorman is similar out in Las Vegas. Now, listen, are there top-tier programs across America that are not an academy like IMG that have a bunch of players from a variety of different states that they've pulled into one location? No. And that's one of the reasons why IMG isn't permitted to play for a state championship in the state of Florida. They're not a part of a conference. They're forced to play a national schedule, which oftentimes gets them broadcast on TV. And then you've got to find people that are willing to play them. A St. Thomas Aquinas is a team that would be willing to play them. An American Heritage, who they played in week 1, willing to play them. You could probably get South Lake Carroll or Cedar Hill out of Texas. So there's a variety of schools that would likely be willing to play them, but to be honest with you, most don't want to play them. And if you watched the broadcast last night or yesterday afternoon with IMG, it's not just the current class. It's the junior class and then the sophomore class that is all comprised of Power 5 or Elite Power 5 prospects, so it's difficult to get to find a program that wants to play it.
And Pepper Johnson is their head coach, correct?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's the head coach there. And I loved Pepper Johnson as a player. I mean, I loved him with the Giants. I loved him when he came with Belichick to the Browns for a couple of years, and it's just the kind of guy he was as a coach. What do you – I mean, is coaching at IMG, being a head coach at IMG, is that equivalent to being a coach at like a Division II college or Division III college? And what do you think about his potential coaching career? I know he did some assistant coaching in the NFL.
No, it would be the equivalent to coaching a Power 5 college team that hasn't played yet. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. We're not,
really?
That team's not comprised of guys that are going to Coastal Carolina, East Carolina, Miami of Ohio. That team's comprised of guys that are going to Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Florida, Miami. And it's one of the reasons why they have 3 separate teams. They've got their national team, they've got their varsity team, they've got their JV team. So not everybody involved in that program is on that elite national team, but the guys that are on it, you're not playing with a normal group of high school players.
So they could go play, let's say, a JV team of a Power 5 conference school, a team made up of freshmen and sophomores, and be competitive, right? You're saying that they could go play Georgia's JV if there were a JV and kind of hang with them. Wow.
Athletically? Oh, absolutely. The question would be, would they get out coached? And how would they, because they don't have to do a lot of scheming there. They don't have to do a lot of game management. They're not going to be in a lot of tight games. They're not having to make a lot of 2-minute decisions and 4th down decisions.
Right.
They got to snap the ball, not fumble the ball, not give the ball to the other team, block and tackle.
Yeah.
The rest of it's taken care of by athletes. So if you got the situation like that, that's when coaching would come into play. But as far as talent for talent, that team could probably take the field against an FCS program right now.
Yeah, depending on who would coach them, like a JV. When I coached at a small college, and this was a small college, we actually had a JV team, but it was like the GAs and stuff. Coach, we would go down there. Most of the varsity coaches would go down to the game, after practice and just kind of stand on the sideline and watch them. But the young coaches coached them, so it wouldn't be like necessarily, the A-team staff, if you will, in that case.
Right.
Tom Luginbill with us. Do you have any more high school games on your schedule? I mean, the high school games are fascinating. ESPN does a great job with it. I'm glad you said a marketing company, because it's not like some dude at ESPN is necessarily setting these games up. They've got somebody that handles it. They pay a marketing company to handle it, so that's on them. But I hope this doesn't do anything to slow down the coverage of ESPN. That Jerry Jones game was really good as well. I don't know if that was on another network or not, but there are some really good high school games that we get to see early in the season when they do this.
Well, there is. And, we also have a slate of games each and every week that runs for 12, 13 weeks. We have a high school package. This group's been working for the last 15 years. And, you're always going to have some blowouts. You're always going to have some mismatches. That's part of the deal. But I've broadcasted an awful lot of these games, competitive ones, non-competitive ones, for a lot of years. And I have the same hope that you do, because I think it's great for local communities. It's great for local high schools and their fans and the parents of the kids. It's awesome. And so we'll see where it goes. I will actually not have any more high school games. I participate in this kickoff weekend, obviously, because there's a recruiting tie. We need broadcasters. There's a lot of games, and it's obviously in my wheelhouse. So I participate, help out in the opening weekend, then we'll move on to my college football slate.
I'm looking forward to seeing maybe some coverage of Arch Manning, who's only a junior right now, but he's at Isidore Newman. They got beat the other night. You would think you got the best quarterback that anybody's talked about in the last 10 years or whatever. You would think that they would be unbeatable, but apparently not a hell of a lot around him. I mean, he showed that he could punt. That's not good. You don't want to be necessarily beat a quarterback and a punter. But they must not have a whole heck of a lot around them. And I've seen some pictures of that team, and it looks like a team that you see on a Tuesday night or on a regular night in Alabama or Tennessee.
And that's going to be something that'll be heavily scrutinized. They don't dress a lot of players on the varsity, probably not playing, to a 5-6A level that we see out of, let's just say, a state of Texas or a state of Louisiana or a state of Georgia, even in Alabama. And so, that is something where he has advantages because of his talent level. doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to have the health necessary to do the job he's got to do on each and every week basis.
I wonder if a guy like that, I wonder if he ends up at a place like IMG, or if he just wants to play at Newman, that's where his family is from, everything else. You think he just stays there all the way through, or does he pack up and go someplace where he can play for one of these big-time prep schools?
Now, I think with his family unit and the structure that they have and their belief system, there's a family tie to that high school. I would find it very, very hard to believe that we'd see that move. I think he'll take it all the way through. It's not going to affect his recruitment. So it's not like he needs to do something like that in order to improve his stock.
It's a good point. Tom Luginbill with us. All right, you get Spencer Rattler, who starts the season as the Heisman favorite. We've talked about him in the past. I like the kid's game. It's one of the reasons, if I had a vote, if I was doing a poll and I had a vote, I hate preseason polls, but I'd have had Oklahoma one because they have an experienced quarterback. Did you? Okay. I'd have had them one. And what's underrated is they are playing better defense. The whole thought process of they never play defense in the Big 12 or Oklahoma doesn't play any defense, that's not really true right now. This team seems to be playing, and I always said if they could play top 50 defense, they're always going to be top 5 offense,
I totally agree. I have them as a preseason number one, and I don't have them preseason number one because of their offense. It's entirely because of their defense. Their defense in terms of how it stacks up conference-wide, but maybe most importantly, to finally get them over the hump when they get into the semifinals and they play somebody that can overwhelm them up front. That's not necessarily the case this year. And that is a front seven that is deep. They are talented. They've changed the body type of the types of players they've recruited over the last 2 to 3 years under Alex Grinch. And I think most notably, there's an appreciation there now for not giving up the big play on defense, creating turnovers, getting an extra series or two back for your offense, something that was sorely lacking really over the last 10 to 12 years at Oklahoma, and one of the reasons why they couldn't win a college football playoff game. So I think all of that has turned. The tide has turned, and listen, are there a couple of places that they're thin? For example, right now, they got Eric Gray, the transfer from Tennessee. They've got Kennedy Brooks back, but they have zero depth at running back. It's the only 2 scholarship running backs they have. So they can't afford any margin for error injury-wise, and it's very similar in the offensive line. They've always put together a strong group in the offensive line, but if they have an injury or two, that could weigh heavily. And you combine that with the lack of depth in the running back room, those are some concerns. Everywhere else is pretty well accounted for. And so you're taking on a team that is well coached in Tulane with Willie Fritz, and obviously you're going to have better personnel. You're going to have distinct advantages. But with the hype and with the expectation, I don't think that Oklahoma can afford to go out. And I know we'll all have knee-jerk reactions off of week one, but I don't think they can go out and take Tulane lightly and then keep Tulane in the game because they're not focused.
Tom Luginbill with us. His picture that is up at the TV feed of the show, the video feed of the show that is out there that you can see. Looks like he's got a cooking bib on or something. I don't know. A Make-A-Wish. Oh, in Middle Tennessee, Make-A-Wish. Did you do something with Make-A-Wish that you look like you got an apron on, Tom? I'm not sure what this picture.
Yes, I did. That's Kevin Carter's Waiting for Wishes charity campaign that we did for a number of years in Nashville. Raised a lot of money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
And that's probably what that picture's from. Where are you seeing that?
Yeah, it's on our feed. The show is on the video feed as well as the as the radio. So on the video feed, they got a picture of you up. It says on the phone, Tom Luginbill, ESPN College Football Analyst, and you're in front of a Make-A-Wish thing. Now, Make-A-Wish in Middle Tennessee, I was very involved in when I was there in Nashville as well, helping make some wishes come true for. I know there was one kid, Jordan Simini, who wanted to meet Brett Favre, and the Packers were playing at in Nashville against the Titans, and I worked that out so that he could meet Brett Favre and all that stuff. And that's a great organization. But if we're going to put a picture of Lugs up, I think it should be a picture of Lugs in a rain slicker with an umbrella, because he should be like Rain Slicker Tom, because wherever he goes, there's terrible weather wherever Lugs goes to do a game. And he's going to New Orleans, for God's sakes. What are you, Jim Cantori? I mean, are you really going to go to New Orleans, in the wake of this hurricane? Missed it by a week. What are the, on a serious note, thoughts and prayers with all the folks in New Orleans, but what are the chances that this game actually gets played at Tulane?
I actually don't know yet. We're waiting to hear. We know both programs have contingency plans. Tulane's already moved their operation up to Birmingham so that they can still prepare for the game. And so we're kind of waiting to hear from our end whether or not we need to switch our travel up, and we haven't heard anything just yet.
I was just thinking about, LSU's on the road, and maybe they could play over there. I don't know if it's any better than Baton Rouge than it is, in that part of the country. The other thing that I can't figure out for the life of me is what in the hell is Oklahoma doing playing at Tulane? I mean, Alabama's got a home and home with Notre Dame and Texas and Wisconsin coming up. But
I know.
They're not going to do home and home with Middle Tennessee. I mean, what are they doing? Why is Oklahoma? How did they suck Oklahoma into coming to Tulane?
I do not know the answer to that question. My assumption would be that it's a 1 away, 2 home for Oklahoma at some point. Now, how that would get mapped out now, I don't know, but there has to be something that weighs in the favor that benefits Oklahoma here more than it benefits Tulane.
With all due respect to your game, the game of the weekend is not the Alabama-Miami game either. It's the Georgia-Clemson game, and Clemson a small favorite in that game. Who is this game more critical to? Who can recover better from a loss if it's a close game?
Clemson, I think, can, because I think obviously the conference slate, there's still a pretty wide gap between them and everybody else. And I think Georgia has more pressure on them to win a big game, more pressure on them to win a close game, make in-game decisions that are strong that lead to a win. I think that there's been a criticism of Coach Smart and his staff is that they've gotten some of those situations and they squandered it away. And that needs to change in order for them to kind of get over the hump. And so I would say Clemson. Either way, I said as long as this thing's not a blowout, we could still be looking at two teams that would be a mix of the 4 in the college football playoff, 15 weeks from now. So that's how good these two football teams are.
This is precious. They changed the picture. It's a rain-soaked Tom Luginbill on the sideline pulling his glasses down. You got a slicker on, and you've got like a piece of plastic around your microphone, and you got your glasses pulled down on your nose. That's the picture we need to use for Lugs. That's classic Tom Luginbill doing a game on the sideline. When you look at Georgia, because I look at this, if Georgia gets over on Clemson, UAB, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, at Auburn, Kentucky, Florida, Missouri, at Tennessee, Charleston Southern, at Georgia Tech. They're 12-0. I mean, they got an excellent shot to go 12-0. No LSU, no A&M, no Alabama. Their crossovers are, of course, the regular crossover with Auburn, and they get Arkansas at home. Arkansas will be sporty, but Arkansas at home, I mean, I'm looking at undefeated here if they beat Clemson.
Yeah, I think something unforeseen would have to happen. Again, another injury to a quarterback would kill them. We saw them a year ago in the first half of the season, and they were just inept at quarterback. They can't afford an injury there. But you're right. Injury-free, God willing, they're healthy throughout, the season week to week, don't have a COVID hiccup, something to that effect. This is a team that is primed to run the table. But again, doesn't that scare you a little bit? Because we've been through this before. Seasons of high expectations with this program have not fared well during the season.
Yeah.
And so that's a big hurdle for this program. And if you somehow find a way to get over it, then all of a sudden it can change your fortunes. You get that off your back, and you can just move forward worry-free. And, I think Clemson had to go through that a little bit in the early stages of Dabo's, Dabo's tenure. Remember the phrase Clemsoning? Well, you don't hear that anymore. They got over that. They're past that. Now Clemsoning means kicking the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important for Georgia in this matchup.
It's a great point. And finally, I feel like I know LSU is a small favorite at UCLA. I watched that UCLA game last week. I know the competition wasn't the greatest in the world, but maybe there's something happening there. I feel like UCLA might have a little something for LSU, who's breaking in new quarterbacks and everything else. And UCLA will have a game under their belt, which is critical, I think. What do you think about that UCLA-LSU game?
Well, LSU can't take them lightly. LSU's going to have a talent advantage, probably across the board at every position. But that UCLA team will be really well coached. I think you can make an argument that Chip Kelly's one of the best in-game coaches in all of football. And listen, they've got 10 guys back on defense, 10 on offense. They've kept their quarterback healthy at least through week 1. My only knock is that Dorian Thompson-Robinson can be really streaky. When he's hot, man, look out. But when he's not, his bad is bad. And even though they dominated that game last weekend, I don't think you can beat LSU completing 50% of your passes. So he's going to have to get hot against LSU. But if LSU takes them lightly, they're going to be in a dogfight.
Yeah, and the kid they got from Michigan, Zach Charbonneau, I don't know why that kid's not at Michigan still. I mean, I look at Michigan's running back room. I'm not blown away, but he had a big game, 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing on just 6 carries, and then they shut him down. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. Have a good time down in New Orleans. If it's in New Orleans or wherever you end up, we'll be watching. Stay dry. Hopefully you don't look like how you look in this picture that they put up, where you look like a drowned rat right there in that picture. But,
it seems to be every week.
You know what? Better than being in the closet doing the games, remotely. You know what I mean? So I'm just happy that you're going to be out there in the field again.
I am too, buddy. I am too. Have a good rest of the week.
Appreciate it. You too. It's Tom Luginbill, brought to us by our friends at Woody Anderson Ford every Monday here in the Thom Abraham Show. That is excellent production by you, Grizz, getting that picture changed up like that so quick. And that's what he looks like every week.
I'm pretty sure that's his Twitter picture.
Everywhere he goes, that's what happens. It's the weirdest thing. He shows up, and it's a monsoon.
It's like a black cloud over him.
It's like a black cloud follows him around everywhere he goes. I mean, he does a tremendous job on the sidelines. He is a sideline analyst, not a sideline reporter. And there's a difference. And even ESPN will tell you that when they sent out their list of of their teams, their broadcast teams, they listed 3 guys as sideline analysts. And everybody else is the sideline reporters. It's not Luke's job to find out whether or not Billy's coming back in the game after. Now he'll do that too, but it's Luke's. Todd McShay is an excellent sideline analyst, and one other guy. His name rhymes with Bull Bublik. Is the other one that they consider a sideline analyst. So the rest of them are sideline reporters. He's not Holly Rowe. Okay. He's a former coach, played at quarterback at Georgia Tech, and does a tremendous job. And was the head coach of the Tennessee Valley Vipers back in Grizz's youth. Right off the bat. I mean, he was very good in his 1 year as the head coach.
He's not wrong.
He was the offensive coordinator. Did you know he has a ring from the XFL, the original XFL? He was the offensive coordinator for, I think it was the San Francisco team or the Los Angeles team? Whichever team won the league championship in 2001, Tommy Maddox was the quarterback, and he helped Tommy Maddox get back in the league, where Tommy Maddox ended up in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he was the last quarterback of the Steelers before Ben Roethlisberger took over. I think it was the San Francisco team or the Extreme. Maybe it was L.A.
Extreme.
L.A. Extreme. It was the L.A. Extreme, and they won the XFL championship. I might have just made that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what they did. All right, phone lines are open the rest of the way. You want to jump in here on a Reaction Monday, you can do it. Just go ahead and jump in. We will get you on the air with us, 256-5764-977. It's 256-5764-977. Your text window is open as well, 732-982-7469. It is game week. We got a little taste last week, but the SEC enters play now this week, so that means that it's real. It's game week, and we'll run down some of the big games that we'll be looking at all week long here on Game Week in college football, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. I hope all of you are well. These are trying times we're experiencing right now, and I want you to know that we at Baumhauer's are committed more than ever to providing a legendary dining experience to everyone. Everyone is important to us, and everyone is welcome. Please allow us to serve you in a way that makes you feel safe, appreciated, welcome, and special. Because we're all special in the eyes of the ones and the one that counts. God bless.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Brooks & Collier has always been about making the most of your outdoors. Our lush greenhouse and new furniture ideas will inspire you, but we're also about value. Our brands are so handsome, they'll make themselves comfortable inside or out. And so well made, they'll weather the weather for many years to come. Our staff can consult you on the right choices. And Lucy, for sure, can show us the sofa that's the most comfortable. Make the most of your outdoors. Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
Hey friends, Eli Gold here for Environmental Comfort Systems. If you're concerned about the air quality inside your home, give my friend Rick Smith a call at Environmental Comfort Systems. Their indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of indoor air contaminants. Give the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and see how comfortable you can be. Breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com. McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. This segment brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. At North Alabama Mortgage, they got the people to help you through the mortgage process. They've got conventional VA, FHA, USDA loans. They got it. There's a loan out there. They got the loan out there. They're going to help you with the purchases and the refinances, and they're going to get you through the process cleanly and without stress, because that's what Brian Hammaker and his team does. That's what they do. They're going to take care of whether you need to cash out refinancing for home renovation or college expenses or whatever. That's what I'm looking to do. We want to do our kitchen. And we're going to buy another piece of land that's adjacent to our guest house out back. So we want to buy that, maybe put a little barn on it. And I got equity all tied up in these properties, so we pull a little bit of money out, boom. You know who I use? North Alabama Mortgage. That's who I need to talk to about it. Whether you're in Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, doesn't matter where you're at in those 3 states, they're going to get you taken care of. All right? Go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. I'm getting agita for Wolverine Dan and Keith, the Michigan fan. So thinking about this, and I'm glad that you used Feinbaum on the bump back. I don't know if you heard what Feinbaum had to say Friday about the possibility of Jim Harbaugh being back as the head coach of Michigan next year. But just think about this. I talked about the kid, Zach, is it Charbonnet? I think that's how you say it. Zach Charbonnet. He was the running back from Michigan. I didn't understand why he wasn't playing more. He had 6 carries for UCLA on Saturday. He had 6 carries for 106 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm no math major, but that sounds like about 18 yards per carry. 6 carries, 106 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And that dude was at Michigan and transferred out. And he's now at UCLA. And now, the starting quarterback at Tennessee, I don't know if this says more about Tennessee or says more about Harbaugh and Michigan, but Joe Milton's been named the starting quarterback at Tennessee. I mean, think about it. They got a 5-star prospect in Harrison Bailey. They got the kid they got transferred in from Virginia Tech, Hendon Hooker. He was a starter at Va Tech, Hendon Hooker. And Joe Milton has won the starting job at Tennessee. Now, Milton, he started the first, 3 or 4 games last year. He's a 4-star out of Orlando, and he was Michigan's starting quarterback at the beginning of the season. He threw 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, threw for 1,000 yards or so in a few games, and they shut him down, benched him. Now, he may have been hurt, may not have been hurt. They benched him. Now he's the starting quarterback at Tennessee. The website Maize n Brew said this about Joe Milton in terms of what kind of player he was. Milton has everything you want in a raw quarterback prospect. He's a good leader that people seem to rally behind. He has the physique of a Cam Newton or Josh Allen. He has the arm to throw a pigskin a quarter mile. Well, then he would be overthrowing everybody. I mean, if he threw it a quarter mile from Neyland Stadium, he'd be throwing it in the river. That's me. I did that. I think the biggest thing that worked against him was his poor accuracy. He missed a good amount of throws, and then at some point in the season, he got injured. He didn't have much help with protection and play calling. But the guy we saw week 1 against Minnesota, a good game there, never appeared again. So now he's the starting quarterback at Tennessee. How long is he going to be the starting quarterback at Tennessee with, Bailey and Hooker there? I don't know. But he's going to get the start in the first nod against Bowling Green. They are 34-point favorites against Bowling Green on Thursday night. That's when your SEC schedule starts. Now, on Friday, Paul Feinbaum, who you hear every day here at 2 o'clock. Paul Feinbaum was asked Friday on ESPN radio and TV whether or not he felt that Jim Harbaugh would still be the head coach at Michigan next year.
I mean, he's got no chance. They just should go ahead and fire him today and save the agony of waiting till November.
Wow. Grizz, should that be my Michigan cut this year? If I put Michigan in the Friday trifecta, I'm looking for, I got to have cuts. I'm looking to maybe freshen up the cuts a little bit. Could this be? No chance. They just should go ahead and fire him today and save the agony of waiting till November. Wow. That could be my Michigan cut.
I think that you do that as soon as Jim Harbaugh gets fired. You start using start using it now.
I think, yeah. I think I may need to start using it now. I mean, I got my...
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
I got that for Tennessee. Tennessee fans love that one. I added a new Saban one.
Everybody trusts their family, but nobody knows where Uncle Tommy's been either.
Got that one. I'm Grizz, if you want to help, you've listened to the show a little bit, don't you? No, maybe you don't. Do you ever listen to the show?
Always.
Okay. You know what I'm looking for? I need maybe, let's see, who are we going to have in the Friday trifecta this week? We are going to have the Alabama-Miami game. I don't know what I got for the Hurricanes. I'm not sure what I got for the Hurricanes. I need something good for the Hurricanes, I think. And I might have them in a game or two this year after this one. So I need something for the Hurricanes, I think. I got plenty for Alabama. And then I'm going to have Clemson and Georgia. We know we got the Mark Richt cut.
They want to spread you out and still pound you.
For Clemson, I have the Dabo Bring Your Own Guts BYOB baby cut. So I got a Clemson cut that I like. What else am I going to have in there? I'm going to have the LSU UCLA game in there, maybe. I got a bunch of LSU. LSU is easy. LSU is a no-brainer. When you think about all we've got, football. I got that with O. I've got.
I used to stop at the Exxon and get a chicken on a stick. Best I ever had.
I got that for O. I have the cut up. I've got O talking about fighting with Tommy Tuberville over at the chicken breast from The Drive. When he was on The Drive at SEC Media Days, when he says we got a 4-piece meal and we fought over the breast. Just that. That's all I got. Just all I need. Just trimmed it right down to we got a 4-piece meal and we fought over the breast. A classic cut. That's fantastic. So that's not a problem. I don't know what I would use for UCLA. I have an idea for UCLA. And then probably put do you think I should put the Notre Dame Florida State game in there? It's by itself on Sunday. Notre Dame's a 9-point favorite at Florida State. What do you think? I'm trying to think what other game.
That'd be a nice matchup for people to vote on.
I don't put in cupcake games. So if people are saying, "Oh, what are you talking about? Why aren't you putting the Army or the Auburn game in there?" I don't put cupcake games in there. I got too many good games to have a cupcake game in there. So I'm not going to have Auburn and Akron in there. Auburn is a 37-point favorite in that game. Not doing it. Sorry, Sally. Not going there. We're not putting Southern Miss and South Alabama in the trifecta. Sorry. Louisville Ole Miss would be a possibility, but Notre Dame minus 7.5 now at Florida State. I'm putting that one in there because the game is by itself on Sunday. Let me get Keith, the Michigan fan, in here. Keith, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing all right, big dog. Hey, Zach Charbonnet, I think that's how they pronounce it.
Is it Charbonnet?
But I remember, but I remember when he first got to Michigan, and I was excited because he was like a 4-star, and the first few games, the kid was, amazing, and then all of a sudden, he's not playing anymore. It's like, what's going on here? He couldn't get. I mean, he would come in every now and then for a few plays, but he was not the starting running back.
Do you think he's a knucklehead? Maybe. I mean, Michigan's got. I mean, is it maybe he got in the doghouse or something, and he's a knucklehead? Because I don't know why. I remember last year thinking, why isn't this Charbonneau kid playing?
Yeah, well, you're not the only one. Also, Milton, the quarterback, the kid has an arm. I mean, he can stand on the 20-yard line and throw a strike to the end zone.
Yeah.
But he has an accuracy problem. He missed some wide open guys. I mean, or he throw the ball too hard. It was coaching. I think Harbaugh has his son coaching quarterback, and that's a big mistake.
Wow.
A buddy of mine in Detroit, we was thinking about if Harbaugh, they don't turn it around, he's gone after this year.
So you agree a little bit with Paul
Feinbaum?
Yeah, Paul said.
Yeah, they just should go ahead and fire him today and save the agony of waiting till November.
Wow, he's just blow him out now.
I'll wait till November.
Yeah.
Yep, look, you got to give him the season, but because anything can happen. I mean, hey, Michigan is the school that lost to Appalachian State, so basically we can turn it around and beat everybody. You'd never know.
So Milton, he does have a cannon for an arm. It's going to be really interesting.
Yes,
if Milton is completing like 65% of his passes into Josh Heupel offense for Tennessee, wow. That's just going to make it look worse and worse for Harbaugh. People are going to go nuts up there if Milton ends up.
Well,
yeah,
because he's like I said, and the kid went to a training camp with I think it was a former Michigan quarterback who's teaching quarterbacks, and he said this kid, I mean, he can just jump straight up and flip. He's very athletic and he has that cannon. So Tennessee is, we're going to see this year.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to
Thanks
see. I mean, Tennessee, I think, is going to be, I think offensively they're going to be much better. I just don't know that they can stop anybody. So, I mean, Tennessee's going to probably lose some 55-45 type football games.
Yeah, I remember Michigan doing the same thing, losing 54 to 53. It's like if you score 30 points, you're supposed to win.
Yeah. And that's what I think. I think that Michigan fans, if I told you that every week Michigan was going to score, from between 24 and 31 points, somewhere in there every week, but their defense was going to be a top 5 defense in the country that allowed, 13 to 17 points a week, I think every Michigan fan on the planet would take that right now. Say, we don't need all this highfalutin stuff. We'd be very happy to win games 27-14. It'd be fine.
Yep.
Big Ten football. All right, man. Appreciate you. Brandon is up next. Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you?
Man, doing pretty good. And I hear you talking about these clips that you want to use for the trifecta.
Yeah.
And being that Illinois managed to beat Nebraska, you could probably put UTSA versus Illinois in there for your trifecta just as a funny one, so that you could use the Brett Bielema hop on the wife clip.
Oh, yeah.
So that is a classic of all time.
That is one of the classics. I mean, Bielema's looking to hop on a wave when he meant to say looking to hop on a plane is definitely a classic. Yeah, and they played really well. I mean, Brett Bielema is exactly where he needs to be, man. In the Big Ten, that's exactly where that guy should have been the whole time. And he should have stayed there in the first place. Maybe Nebraska should have hired Brett Bielema. I mean, maybe they would be a better program if they had hired him. I don't. The thing that I don't know is, I think Tennessee can return to prominence. I think Texas can return to prominence. I don't think Nebraska is ever coming back. I really do. I don't see a scenario. Now, I'll give you one name. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'll give you one name. Urban Meyer. Yeah, Urban Meyer goes 500 for a couple of years at Jags. They blow out Scott Frost, and they talk to Urban Meyer and say, Herb, you want to come back to the 10 and coach the Nebraska Cornhuskers and see if you can do for what he did. Now, he took over an Ohio State team that was coached by Jim Tressel that was right there already. You know, they were right there. But he took over a Florida team that had been coached by Ron Zook that was not very good. No, not – did he take over for Zook? That was not very good and turned them into two-time national champions. I don't know anybody that could go to Nebraska and win. I think that the whole Nebraska thing, they were so dominant for 35 years, right? From 1962 to 1997 under Bob Devaney and Tom Osborne. They won 85% of their games and won 5 national championships that they claim. The ones that that are legit. I don't think we're ever going to see it again out of Nebraska.
I think that it would take an Urban Meyer to go there, somebody with championship pedigree, and it would take him 3 or 4 years, and he would have to rally the NIL money and everybody else. But I believe the move that they made, and I said this to Scott and Drew this morning, the move they made out of conference and what they've done, they have pushed themselves so far into obscurity that I don't know that short of a tremendous coaching hire, if they could ever pull out of it. And another good clip you might could use, Penn State, Wisconsin this weekend. Could you use the Joe Pa clip where he's talking about if the girl comes up to you, what are you going to do? That whole skit that he did that was so funny because you could tell he lost his whole train of thought. That's a pretty good little clip, too.
Yeah, I don't know if I go there with Joe Pa. I might if
I understand.
Yeah, if I go Penn State, usually I go with.
I'm standing here on the Thom Abraham patio of the Vanderbilt football facility where you broadcasted your show.
I go with James Franklin usually. The short version of that one. If I go there up, but yeah, that's a good game. Penn State or Wisconsin. Should I have Penn State and Wisconsin as the 4th game or Notre Dame, Florida State? What I like about Notre Dame, Florida State is it's Sunday and it's all by itself.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking there. So you think my oldest son, the one that was closest to the camera, is the one that looks the most like me?
Oh, dead on. I mean it could be. I mean, I took one look at him. I said, that's an Abraham right there. I said, that is. Yeah. I wonder, is he the oldest?
He's the oldest. The second one in there was the musician. He's the third oldest, and he's the smallest. He looks big. Now, the third one in line is my baby boy, the one that's a senior at UAH. He's actually bigger than all of them except for Joe, except for the oldest one. He's bigger than the other two, but he's slouched down, squeezed down in between because he's the baby boy. So they beat on him all the time, but he could take them all. He could knock them all. And then the one on the end is Thomas. He's the one that's very successful in his business right now, but was an excellent baseball player as well and is in great shape. I mean, he's in tremendous shape, works out like crazy and everything else. And but he was the one that was down there on the end.
Well, I was going to let you know I did score tickets to Air Force, Wyoming, October 9th. And after I bought them, they were some of the cheapest tickets I ever bought them for $20 a seat. And I told my son, I said, you're going to get to see some fullback football in its prime when we go see this. And then I got to looking, and that is the day of the Alabama-Texas A&M game.
Oh, my gosh.
I told my wife, I said, we may end up having to show up at this game at halftime, depending on what time it is. I said, because we're going to see Alabama and A&M down to the end, and I'm hoping that that's going to be the CBS game of the week, 3:30 game. That way, by the time the Air Force game starts, that I can go in there and enjoy myself. Because I told my wife, I said, I will happily not go to that game and sit in the hotel room to watch this game. So
yeah,
it's a little bit of an interesting schedule, but really looking forward to it. My son,
take your tablet. Take your tablet with it. Where are you going to? Annapolis to see it? Air Force. You're going out west to see that.
Yeah, we're going to Colorado. We're going to stay in Keystone, Breckenridge area.
Right.
We'll go out there and try to do a little fly fishing on the Snake River and do some UTV trailing and some stuff, some outside stuff. And I said, if we're going somewhere and they're playing football, we're going. So I jumped on there and bought a bunch of tickets.
That setting out there is absolutely, where their stadium is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just a beautiful, beautiful backdrop to where that stadium is. Go to the game. Maybe Alabama will have it in control. Take your tablet or a phone or something like that. Watch the game in the stands. Have it on while you're at the game. Don't short your kid on that one. You guys need to be in that stadium before the game starts. You got to see the Air Force come in the band, everything else. You got to take in the whole thing. If you're going to be out there, take it in.
Well, and I want to. I had a friend, the guy that was he was a major in the Air Force when I was in the Air Force. He was actually at the North Dakota State Wyoming game at Wyoming when the hills were on fire. Like the stadium was smoky, it was burning around them. And I told him, I said, that's got to be one of the most, that's one of his greatest memories of the football game, is you could see the hills burning, and the place was packed with people, and nobody was going anywhere. They were bound and determined that everybody was going to stay, and they were going to see that ball game through to the end. And I think this might be that kind of experience for me and my kid that he'll remember for a long time. So,
all right, well, stay tuned. I got an idea for tomorrow's Tuesday Top 10 that you may want to contribute to, so stay tuned for that.
I'll do that.
All right, man. Appreciate you. So, Grizz, on the way out here, what I'm thinking is for the Tuesday Top 10, I want the listeners to contribute to it. What I'm thinking I'm going with is your greatest college football in-stadium memories. Not that we get to go back to the games. Your greatest, just one. Give me your number one, and we'll make it a top 10 out of it. Like, give me the greatest thing that you ever were at for a college football game. You know, what was it? And I have, like, I might rattle off like 6 or 8 or 10 of my own, and then I want the listeners to give me their greatest college football experience, if you will. And it might be something random, like on my top 10, maybe the Peach Bowl in 1992, because it was my first bowl game ever. My first bowl game ever was Mississippi State and North Carolina in Atlanta when I was at the College Coaches Association, conference. So who knows? All right, we'll get a break and wrap it up. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here.
Bob Baumhauer and 97.7 ESPN The Zone have teamed up to bring you a huge opportunity this fall. Each week, come down to Baumhauer's during the drive Thursdays between 5 and 6:30 and register to win a Lunch Bunch gift certificate for 6 to Baumhauer's. But wait, there's more.
I know how to keep you happy.
Each weekly winner will then be placed in a drawing for Bob's tickets for the Alabama-LSU game in Tuscaloosa, complete with an invitation to Bob's exclusive pregame party at the Baumhauer's tent on the Quad.
Wow!
Stay tuned to 97.7 ESPN The Zone for other opportunities to sign up to win Bob's tickets.
I've never been so happy in my whole life.
Tom Luginbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life, more important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
And now, another out-of-context moment from the Thom Abraham Show that sounds dirty.
I was actually trained as a plumber, so I know my way around a pipe here and there.
Stay tuned for more from Thom on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
People stay just a little bit longer. We want to play just a little bit longer.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Things we did not really develop, I just throw it out there. Grizz, the Atlanta Braves, winning that series is huge. All right, you winning that series. I said they had to go 4-4 in these games. They had dropped the 2 to Alabama. They had dropped it. I'm working on my list of the games that my top 10 favorite games that I was at, and it's very difficult to pare it down. They dropped the 2 to the Yankees, and then they took 2 out of 3 here from the Giants. If there's any way they can go to L.A. and get 2 out of 3 there, they go 4-4 in this stretch, and they maintain that 4.5, 5-game lead in the East, and then I think it's over. I think it's gone. But even if they win 1 of the 3 and come out of this little stretch 3-5, I think they can survive that.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Tonight, also, you can hear a former Brave, Jeff Francoeur, on the drive tonight, along with former head coach Gene Stallings as well. So look forward to that. But they still got to play the Padres, I think, at the end of the year as well, right?
Yeah,
so
but I think you get through this stretch. I think you can afford then.
Yeah, the Dodgers. It's always a tough out with the Dodgers, but we'll just have to see.
So Frenchie and Gene Stallings on the drive tonight. They will be at Woody Anderson Ford, and you can register to win Bob Baumhauer's tickets to the LSU Alabama game and lunch bunch for 6, you and 5 of your friends. So get on down there. One time you get to register per remote. One time per remote. And Moulton will be paying attention and watching. Go down there and get registered for that. All right, coming up next, it's Chuck Oliver and then Paul Feinbaum. And then the drive at 5. Right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.